Hi everybody, this is Katie. Welcome to Ancient Japanese Gardens, episode number 4. Before we get started on the garden for the day, I have 2 announcements for the channel. The first, I'm going to open up the opportunity for any of you to submit a flag design for the island. If it's something you're interested in doing and you want to design a flag, you can get in touch with me by submitting your flag design on Discord. You can direct message me straight on Discord, or you can post it in the Animal Crossing channel. Either way, I'm really excited to have a fan-made design on the flag for this particular season. I thought it would be a really good way to pay honor to all of you for the support that you have given me over the last few months. The second announcement that I want to make is that I lack expertise when it comes to actual ancient Japan. So keep that in mind. If you have good knowledge or background, keep in mind that what I'm doing is just being personally inspired by information that I have had come across my plate in the past. So if there's something that I do wrong that doesn't perfectly represent actual ancient Japan, please just let me know in the comments, but don't be mad at me because I'm just taking that as my inspiration. Here you can see I'm running around in front of Pekoe's house because this is the area we're going to work on today. And down here on the end is where we're going to put a pagoda kind of at the back part of the trail. And I think that that's the direction I want to take, have a little bit of a trail leading to the end of the path. The first thing I'm really going to do as I try and put this area together is figure out where the path is going to go. And this is real common for me when I'm working on builds. I like to have building structures in place and the path in place. And this time it's a little bit tricky because I'm not dealing in a straightforward path. It's not going to go just up and down. It's got a little bit of diagonals and kind of loops in and out here and there. I also want the path to look a little bit broken. And it takes me a little while to figure out how to get the path to start coming out the way that I sort of have envisioned in my mind, which is mostly filled in so you can clearly see where the path is going, but at the same time broken up because it is supposed to be a really old ancient path. I like the way that the browns really come through and give it that beautiful vintage look. So as I'm putting all the different path design pieces together, I need them to line up ever so careful so that everything looks complete and cohesive, but at the same time, not fully put together. It's a lot to try and balance. So I spend quite a bit of time making sure that all the pieces are exactly the way that I envision. Once I get the path done on one side of the bridge here, I'm just carrying it over to the other side. Here I've got a little bit of an intersection where I'm going to go from the bridge and the incline down to the rest of Pekoe's rose garden, and then this path will also go up into what will be the next garden area eventually. So I definitely want to get this particular space right too. So I'm going to keep working on this path part here and we'll skip to where I finish it off. I'm pretty happy with where the path is. I'm just doing the last little finishing touches here and there, and it's time to start putting in decorations. There we start with the pagoda, and then I'm dropping over here to figure out now where the flowers are going to go. I really want the flowers to go on the dark dirt so it looks like they're in little flower beds, and I want those flower beds to be in slightly awkward shapes that sort of snake around through this path. Again, it's supposed to be a little bit of a journey from one part of the path to the other. So I'm just creating these tiny little flower beds now and again, kind of on one side of the path and the other. Obviously, because it is a rose garden, I want there to be a lot of flowers, but not the entire area is going to be flowers. So you can see there, I'm just deciding on where those flowers are going to be placed. And now I'm starting in with some of the other decorations for the area, which includes the fencing. And I'm also putting down a lot of additional patterns. This is a really important part of design that a lot of people don't think about or that they don't get to. And as you can tell, I am putting a pattern down everywhere. I'm putting something down on every single space as I'm designing and decorating, and even if it's just a blank pattern that I'm putting down, this will allow me to leave an area and not worry about where weeds might pop up, and it'll also allow me to do a rock garden in the end of this island that'll be very, very easy to do because all the different spaces will be taken care of. For some reason, this just makes me feel like an area is complete, like it's fully done, even if it is just a blank space that's on the ground. Over here you can see I'm putting down rock patterns, and right now it looks random, but these are underneath each of the garden lanterns. The garden lanterns are the light source that I have decided to use for the rose garden that I'm doing for Pekoe, and I really wanted them to be on top of rocks, not just completely in the middle of nowhere. And I'm starting to put down some of the other greenery. I've decided to leave the roses till the very end just because I felt like that would be a really fun way to bring everything together. So I'm just putting down more of the patterns, and I'm going back and forth with trees and bushes and other things so that I feel like the whole area is complete. I have a little bird bath that I want to put in the area. Even though it's not particularly Japanese in style, I decided to put together a path circle design with some of the border that I was using down in the town area so that I could stick the bird bath in the middle. I thought it would be a really good way to use up a chunk of space with a lot of different design. Hey guys, I wanted to stop the speed build for a moment so I could answer a question that I get quite frequently, and that is how I go about duplicating, growing, and spawning additional flowers. So as I was getting ready to put some of the flowers in place, I was doing a quick count since I had the flower beds in order, and I realized I needed more. So here you can see I'm putting the red ones down, and I just go in a diagonal pattern. This is a very standard traditional pattern that we've been using since early on in the game, but I find that it works well for me, and so that's what I've stuck with. The red flowers, when watered, will create the black roses, which I need more of, but the black roses can duplicate themselves as long as they aren't trying to make something new, and so I'm actually going to put them 2 spaces apart because I need them to replicate themselves, but I'll water and move on with them just the same way I did with the red ones. When I'm trying to grow new flowers, I will usually go through days that I know I have a lot of rain because then I don't have to go through and water all the flowers, which is great. Here you can see one of the black ones duplicated, so I'm going to go ahead and grab it, and I'm going to move up here and I'm going to put it right here. You can see I'm that same 2 spaces away. I've been doing the rest of the black flowers, that way it can duplicate. I've time traveled a couple more days forward and have been able to get a few more of the flowers to pop up. I've just been moving them, watering them, and I'm going to keep going through that process again until I feel like I have enough flowers and I'm satisfied and ready to move on with decorating. The flowers are far enough along for now, so I'm going to stop time traveling through to make more, and I've switched back over to decoration mode. You can see here I have those circles I've put down, the little bamboo shoot lamps in. I have a few of those down by the city, and I thought it would be fun for those to trickle up into this area, sort of a way to bring the 2 areas together and make them sort of transition one to the next. And I was thinking, you know what, I like them well enough, I may go ahead and put them in other parts of the island too, just because it's a really beautiful way to fill space. Technically, I only have 1 item that I've created, and I can use that same item over and over again, and it fills up a lot of decorative room in a way that I really enjoy the way that it looks. I'm up here trying to figure out how to put this shelf in. I was determined to get it in because I'm trying to include at least a few of the light bamboo, kind of the brownish bamboo colors in up here, because most of the island is going to start toning down, right? Vibrant colors by the city. Up here onto the hill, we've still got some of those reds coming through with Pekoe's area, but then I really want the island to start toning down and to drop a lot of the vibrant colors out and go to more of the neutral, natural tones. But I didn't want it to be stark color one way and stark nature the other way, and so Pekoe's area is a little bit of a transition between the 2. Here you can see I'm just adding in a few more of the trees and bushes and patterns, and this part has become pretty consistent. The final step for Pekoe's rose garden is the roses. So that is what I'm doing here. I've picked them all up into my pocket and I've moved over so I can start putting them down. I'm doing a little bit of a diagonal with the colors because I find it to be really elegant and beautiful, and also a good way to randomize the flowers when you only have 3 different colors that you're using. Even though I go back and forth a little bit on which direction I'm going, I do stick generally with that diagonal pattern as I fill in all of the different areas. It's definitely a trick that I recommend when you're putting flowers down into specific patches, putting a little bit of that flower bed dirt underneath and randomizing the flower in diagonals. Pekoe's rose garden is complete, so let's go take a look at the final build. You can see it just kind of tucks in here right along the cliff, and then the beautiful roses just perfectly match her house right across that diagonal bridge. And then we have the roses on the other side walking down the path, and when we get to the end, we have the pagoda as sort of a final destination in this little garden. I hope that you guys found something useful here and that you continue creating in this game. Until next time, have the best Animal Crossing day.